Hey everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach providing SuperCoach content for you. We're going to be talking about how we did in round 19 in NBL SuperCoach. Only one more round to go, so we're really starting to wrap things up now. Before I really get into the swing of things here, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Stephen DW Smith and also on TikTok at SDS_SuperCoach, where I provide some content there as well. NBL SuperCoach. As you guys know, we've been on a bit of a journey of hunting for that 63,000 Mitsubishi Triton, but unfortunately, we are going to fall short. I took a swing on a couple of things, but didn't exactly pan out. I had to give something a go. There was one thing I chickened out last minute with one of my decisions, but it wouldn't have mattered that much anyway. But it would have mean I would have been third. But I mean, in NBL Supercoach, you don't get anything for second or lower, which that's another topic which I find very bizarre. But the fact that the runner-up gets nothing, I find that insane. But that's all right. Yeah, I think the aim at this point of the season is to just really want to get a single figure rank. Like I want to break in. I just want to have this number being one figure. I think that's the aim here because there's no guarantees I'm ever going to get this close to winning a super coach format ever again. So, as you guys know as well, I will probably be doing some NBL SuperCoach stuff going forward in when the AFL SuperCoach off season hits. But let's head into the team. So, what were my trades in the previous week? I actually do not remember. Bear with me for one sec here. So we traded out Casey Prather. Last two rounds, there were no doubles for Brisbane, so we looked to move him on. I did try to make a bit of a bold play here, trading out Doolittle and bringing in Humphreys. Now, I probably wouldn't have done this if I wasn't having a crack at trying to really climb up the ladder, but this just didn't pay off for me whatsoever. So it was just a swing for the fences a bit. A lot of people have got Doolittle, want to try to bet against it because I don't know, I just didn't fully think that their matchups were great. And I thought Adelaide's matchups for centres were great with Isaac Humphreys, but I think Doolittle scored 71, I believe. 71, yep, and Humphreys scored 34, and yeah, that was a shocker trade. So yeah, that and then the decision I chickened out of last minute was I was actually going to captain Bryce Cotton, but half an hour before the Adelaide game, I swapped to Kendrick Davis just because I thought it was just going to be absolute tragedy written all over it. I just thought Davis with those two matchups looked very good. First game, he was amazing. I believe he scored a 51, but this Southeast Melbourne game, I think he played well. He played well, but he had like 6 turnovers, and that's hard to deliver a good score when you're having 6 turnovers. So, yeah, it turned out Cotton was the better pick. He went absolutely nuts against Sydney, and also in the first game, but that second game really sealed it for him. What else is there to talk about now? So yeah, that was the round in the past. We dropped down to 10th. We were 6th. But yeah, just realistically, the aim for me is to just build up my credential a bit of really loving the game of NBL Supercoach. So I really want to get a single figure rank. So we're not going to be attempting to win because we are now 147. Oh God, what's that? 134 points behind. 134 points behind. Yeah, that'd be correct because if I captained Cotton, I would have been third and been exactly 100 points behind. So there you go. It's all the little decisions that you make in Supercoach, isn't it? So let's talk about some things this week because I know some people. Hopefully, you guys are in grand finals and all that. So wish everyone all the best with that. I have already won a couple of my leagues. So grand finals this week. I don't know how many I've got. I think I've got 4 or 6. But I know some of you guys probably want some advice on how to win your grand finals, that type of thing. So one, two, three, four, five. Okay. Yeah, because last week was pretty disappointing, so I lost a few of the prelims. Um, yeah, it wasn't a great score, 505. So mainly due to Humphreys, that killed me. So guess what the advice is? I just wouldn't bother with anyone on a single. And if you have anyone on those doubles, you put them on field and you only trade in players that have the double because last round of the season. So we may as well just go fully nuts with it on grand final day. So that sort of thing. If you can try to hide it, it's hard to do, especially with Illawarra playing the first game of the round. Very hard to hide your captain. But that's a usual AFL Supercoach tactic I try to do, which usually does better in that format, hiding captains. But very tough in this format because Illawarra and Cairns are going to be extremely popular captain options. Speaking of captain options, I'm very curious to see what's everyone going with? Yeah, so there is a lot of mixture, 12 different captains so far in the top 1%. So if you're in striking distance of first, I'm not anymore, but if you were in striking distance, yeah, you go nuts with someone. So Trey Kell, you got the Wardenberger. A lot of people still captaining Davis, and fair enough. He's just insane. Vice captain, a lot of Trey Kell. What am I thinking? So you got a captain a Cairns or an Illawarra player. So in my eyes, I know Davis and Cotton are absolute gods, but I still wouldn't be trusting the captain on them in singles over because two games is better than one at the end of the day. So let's have a deep dive on some of these matchups. So Illawarra on tomorrow night they play New Zealand at Spark Arena in Auckland, I believe, and then Illawarra play again on Friday against Sydney. So I think Sydney's a good matchup, and obviously New Zealand is a good matchup. So to me, that springs to mind of a Trey Kell potential masterclass. What is the risk with Illawarra? Yeah, well, the risk with Illawarra is let's have a look at the NBL ladder, where they're first. And if they win the New Zealand game tomorrow, which is extremely likely, then I get it. Like, you never know what can happen. But if they win tomorrow, they're first. Like, they ain't losing by 100 against the Kings. Melbourne ain't winning by 100 against Southeast Melbourne. So they have they have certainly won um, the minor premiership in the NBL for the season. So the risk with that is could they just rest all their players against Sydney? Like we've seen it before. I forgot the teams, but it did happen last season as well, just players being rested for the final series. So that is the risk with captaining Illawarra players, where compared to Cairns, they've got nothing to play for. And these are actually two really good matchups. Brisbane in Cairns, so I reckon that's pretty good. Now I know Tassie are a tough, intense scoring, limited scoring team at My State Bank Arena, but I get they've got a bit to play for, so I think it could be a close game. And I mean, Cairns aren't playing for anything; they kind of want to play their guys. So, which now Brisbane without a centre, I know I fell into the Isaac Humphreys situation there, but they got Tony Smith Milner as their centre for the last two games because Zakarski and Harrison are out for the season. And then Tassie, there's no Will Magnay. This really wants to make me captain Tanner Groves. I ain't gonna lie. Let's just put on all of our players here that are on the double. I think I'm even going to bench Cotton and Cotton and Davis. Like, I don't know. I've got a good gut feeling with Tanner Groves. I know he's certainly not the best Supercoach scorer player in the world, Supercoach player in the world, but with those matchups, could he deliver me a safe 60? I think that's possible. Kell, I think, could go amazing against New Zealand, but the risk of him not playing against the Kings is up there unless New Zealand calls a massive upset, but I just don't see a world where that happens. So my heart's telling me to captain Groves this week. Vice captain wise, look, I'm going to put it on Trey Kell. Simple as that. But we got to talk about trades. So let's have a look at the trades. So most traded out player is Joe Wieskamp. I will probably be doing that. I think I'll just be combining probably my two worst players to get these last two Cairns and Illawarra players because they aren't that expensive. So I have the team value to do that. Matt Hurt, does break even matter anymore? I don't see the point in this. Am I missing something? Is he injured? I don't know what the point in trading Matt Hurt is. Like he's one of the best players in Supercoach. Obviously couple of tiers below Davis and Cotton, but I don't really get the point unless you're using his money to get more cans and Illawarra plays, which I guess makes sense because realistically, especially for a grand final, you'll want to make sure that you have five doubles on the court for the last round. Humphreys, very fair enough. That was a flop. Harrell, again, people are probably using the money that they don't want to use on Kendrick Davis to get a double there. So I've sort of talked myself into why people are doing that. Pedro Bradshaw, yeah, he's one of the top targets for the round there. Taron Armstrong, really strong as well. And then Tyler Harvey as well. And then obviously, I think the three most traded in players, I think, are Trey Kell, Sam Froling, and is it the Wardenberger? Yeah, it is. These three are the most traded in players for the round, so I'd be having a look at them. That's for sure. I think Groves is a really good option this week as well as a bit of a pod in some cases. So look, I've already got all those guys. So for me, I'm probably going to look to trade Wieskamp. He has been outstanding for me, but time for him to time to use his money to get one final look in on a couple of double plays. So I think for me at the minute, I'm leaning towards Tyler Harvey and swap Hurt there and get Bradshaw. But this could very easily be Taron Armstrong. I guess the main concern with Taron Armstrong would be his injury history and this season, pre-season, could they just rest him for the last game? I'm not sure. I think Groves will play. I think Wartenberg will play. So Groves has been a lot better on the fouls as well in recent times. So I think that's what I'm leaning towards. Yeah, we'll put Harvey on. Who do you bench? Because this leaves me with six doubles. Honestly, don't know who you bench. Look, we'll go with the projected and put Wardenberg on the bench, but that's tough. Yeah, I'll have to make a tough decision on who to bench out of these guys. I mean, if we have a look at lowest average out of these blokes, it's pretty clearly Bradshaw. Cairns and Brisbane are good matchups. Who's Brisbane's point guard? Is it Mitch Norton? Oh, there's a name I'm forgetting. There's like Josh Adams, that type of thing as well. Keandre Cook, but he's more of a forward. Yeah, okay. And then Tassie, Jordan Crawford. Gee, that, especially with the risk of the, especially with the risk of Illawarra resting players for that Friday game against the Kings, but a bit of a grudge match. Maybe they do want to play them. And, hurt their chances even further for the finals. So that almost makes me lean more towards Taron Armstrong for the time being. So wonder who's actually got the highest projected. I don't really care too much about projected, but it's interesting. Yeah, I could go Taron Armstrong. So that would leave me with four cans, two Illawarra players. Yeah, something like this. So if you're any of my opponents in the grand finals, I wish you the best of luck for this week. We got him playing DR in a grand final in his own league there. Supercoach with DR as well, that league too. I got knocked out of my own. This was the very first league I got knocked out of in finals, and it's my only own league, so that sucks. Us, Arson Dragon. Yes, he is very prominent on Twitter. Shout out to him. Shout out to Cameron. Best of luck for grand final. Jock Landale Jackson. Best of luck in the Spud League. This is Abs Magic's league, obviously there. And then Verns. Shout out to Verns. Verns is a ripper, taking on the dream team there with Tate. So best of luck to you five for the grand finals this week against me. Crazy Frog did say something about Crazy. I did face Crazy Frog in a prelim. I don't remember if did I get up? Did he do it? He beat me. I do. I have monetization on now, so I can't swear anymore. Um, how did he get me? Doolittle and Humphreys. Humphreys get stuffed. Okay. Look, we'll wrap things up there with NBL Supercoach. Any questions, leave it down below. I'll happily answer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Time to record another AFL Supercoach video right after this. Catch ya.